Welcome, everybody, to the 7th and Elm Bar and Grill Indiana State Coaches Show. Great to have you with us here tonight. There we go. Cole Trammell in the back, able to get the energy level going here. Coach Mallory will join us here in just a matter of moments. It is a typical Terre Haute tradition. A train has stopped him from getting here on time, so he'll probably be coming up those steps here momentarily. But tonight we got a jam-packed show for you. Two outstanding defensive linemen will join Indiana State tonight, of course, as well as their position coach, Mark Smith. Anoke Mawala and Gavin Deneen. They will join us later on here in the hour, but it's not very often you get a gold medalist on the show. That's exactly what we will have with Noah Malone. Noah Malone and Coach Anthony Bertoli, who was a big part of getting Noah here to Indiana State. He will join us here on the show tonight. Really excited to talk to Noah about his journey in Tokyo with the Paralympic Games, where he won 3 medals, 1 gold, 2 silver. Going to be a great conversation with Noah upcoming as our train sponsor of the night finally has come to an end, and Coach Mallory will hop on here the headset and get rocking and rolling here with us as Indiana State coming off what was a dramatic of all dramatic wins against Eastern Kentucky on Saturday. Indiana State needed the final 2 seconds in the game to score from 24 yards out. Curtis Wilderman to Faison Mcclurge for the game-winning score. Coach Mallory now joins us here on the show. Coach, glad you could join us. I know great Terre Haute traffic, right? Always playing a factor getting you in here.
Well, yeah, it was a great win. First of all, it was a great win. Awfully proud of these guys, how they stuck together, not only this past year, but on Saturday night. And really said a lot about the character of this football team, and they fought all game long and stuck together and pulled off a great victory down there in Kentucky.
What was it, and I asked you this earlier in your press conference, you thought of the success your team had. It really didn't feel like it was just a 3-point game late. It felt like you really kind of, I don't want to say dominated, but controlled the majority of that game. Of course, you missed the field goal to have the opportunity to go up 6. Eastern Kentucky would then go on a long drive, 7 minutes, and with 9 seconds left, you're down for the first time all night. What was it about your team that they didn't look at each other and go, what are we going to do? They looked at each other and said, we're going to get this done.
Well, we played pretty solid on defense. That one long drive at the end. Give them credit. They got some good players, and they made some plays at the end. But we did. We had some opportunities. We had an opportunity. We missed a field goal. We had an opportunity to get some points on the board right before half, and we got to take advantage of that. We talk to the team all the time. When things are going well, we got to take advantage of it. And when things aren't going well, we got to stick together. And so those are things there that we're going to get better at. But give our offense credit. We practice 2 minutes every day, and that was the one thing you heard when they went out there is, hey, we can do this every day. And so they went out there, they executed, and of course that last play was a heck of a play.
Hey, and into the game, we'll get to the end of the game and how that game ended and talk plenty about that here in this segment with you and, of course, on the show tonight. But in terms of how the game started, I know it was a big point of emphasis where you wanted to be extremely physical. You wanted to have a chance to run the football, run it well, and set the tone from the start. From that perspective, did you feel your team was able to do that on Saturday?
Absolutely. I thought we made great improvement. Had some nice runs and had some big plays in the pass game as well. But saw, much improved running game. Still a lot out there, that we could be better at. It'll still be the emphasis this week, to continue to grow. But, there was a lot of good things done out there offensively, and we'll continue to build on it.
And I'm sure a big part of that was, too, you look back and give credit where credit was due to Northwestern, but, when you only averaged, I think it was 1.4 yards per carry a week earlier, you had 31 yards rushing as a team. I'm sure that was just good to see you really eclipse that mark pretty early in the game.
Well, I thought the running backs ran hard. PD ran that first one. He looked like a shot out of a cannon. He hit the thing downhill and, got 10 yards. And we had some really nice runs throughout the game and, continue to build on it. Our strength right now is up front. And we've got some good players to surround them, whether it be at tight end with Zach and some of the wide receivers and running backs. So it'll all start coming together.
In terms of the running game, what have you seen so far from a guy like Justin Dinka? And it felt really good to see him have that big run there early in the game.
It was. Justin hit one out on the edge, got up the sidelines. You've seen him do that. He's got the ability to. He's got great speed. He's just getting better and better. He's learned the offense. Of course, this past year, he just joined us. So he's just going to get better. And then you're seeing Matt Sora, who's always been really steady for us and is playing well for us. And then you're also seeing Derek McLaughlin, who missed all spring with an injury, but is back. And but that running back group is a good group, and they're going to continue to get better.
I know one of the biggest storylines is, of course, Curtis coming in for you in the second half of that game after Anthony Thompson in the first half had 2 critical interceptions, one going into halftime, the other allowed a pick 6 to have Eastern Kentucky tie the game. What was the biggest analysis at halftime of you and the staff of getting together and felt, all right, it's time to give Curtis an opportunity here in the second half?
Well, we've said all along we're gonna need them both. They're both really good quarterbacks. We made the decision to go with Anthony early. It wasn't an easy decision. They were both, really playing pretty well. And, it wasn't like we were going to put a quarterback in that didn't have the experience. And, Curtis has got experience. You can't put a price tag on that. He's a guy that's been in the fire. And so, it was 14-14 at the time, and I knew we were playing pretty well defensively. And just felt like we needed to make that move. And, Curtis went in there, did a nice job managing it, and we pulled it off at the end.
It's something I said, too, on the air, the broadcast on Saturday. And I think just what made it, so much more fun was Curtis's journey with you here within the program. And, thought back to, of course, when Ryan Boyle got hurt in 2019, tore his ACL against Eastern Illinois. Curtis came in, finished that game off. Ultimately went into a different direction with Gunnar C as the starting quarterback, I think 2 weeks later against South Dakota. Trailing against Western Illinois, gets an opportunity, leads your team back, and ultimately was kind of the starter the rest of the year. This year comes back. I know he competed. I know he really wanted that starting job from the start. Didn't get rewarded with it. But I don't want to throw shade at any other team or programs or even players for that matter in the country, because every certain situation is different. But not every player would stay, and not every player would be committed to a program when they didn't get what they wanted. Curtis did.
Right.
And you even said after Eastern Illinois, even after Northwestern, Curtis was right there with Anthony every step of the way, encouraging him, telling him, urging his teammate to come be. He was a great teammate, and it's just really good to see a guy like Curtis get rewarded.
And there's no doubt. I'm awfully proud of Curtis and Anthony. They've been competing this whole time. They're team players. Curtis went in there. But, the thing about Curtis is he's been right there. He's the only player that I'd put on the headphones, and not because I don't trust what we're saying in there, but it's like he's mature enough. He's giving us input. He's talking to Coach Castle and say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. And, I walk by Coach Castle's office and, whether it be last week or the week before, and he's drawing up plays and asking questions and what he sees, and he's talking to, Anthony throughout the game, and got his opportunity, and he was ready to go, and it showed. And when he got in there, I said, hey, we're gonna go with you at halftime. He just said, okay. He's pretty, it wasn't like, who, me? He was like, all right, let's go win. That was all he said, and it's exactly what he did.
Faison Mcclurge, what a game for Faison. 2 touchdowns, of course, the game winner at the very end. That he was a guy week 0 against Eastern Illinois, was on the scout team offense. He was hampered by an injury in fall camp, was working himself back. But I know you really challenged him a couple weeks ago to make him the best and demanded more from him. And you even told Todd Golden after the game in the Tribune Star that you've gotten everything you wanted out of Faison since you challenged him 2 weeks ago. What has it been about Faison over the last 2 weeks that you've really liked outside of just what you've seen on the field from him and, of course, being able to catch the big touchdown there from Curtis to win the game on Saturday?
Well, I think the main thing is, Faison I've known for a while. I recruited him when I was at a previous institution, and he ended up at Cornell. Come full circle, he's back here. He's got a lot of potential. He's a very good football player. Just wasn't showing the consistency that we felt that he needed to. It was in there, and he rose the occasion. He's got a lot in there still. He really does. He could be one whale of a player, and I expect his game to keep going in that right direction, which I expected. And he did some good things on Saturday night, and I just expect him to play even better this week.
Coach Miles and I were a little excited on the call, so we were since kind of forgot of, is Faison okay? Because I know he was laying down on the ground for a while. Was he good after the game?
No, he's fine. He's a tough kid. He's fine.
It's one of those things, Coach Miles, we were so excited he won the game. You're like, well, Faison was down for a long time, so might as well just check and make sure he's okay.
I was more worried about when he was coming off the sidelines and Ron Trez hit him, with excitement. That was probably the hardest hit he took all night was Ron Trez chest bumping him on the sideline, but no, he's fine.
Special teams wise, I know you wanted to see big improvement. We again mentioned the numbers. You guys had 169 yards of total offense against Northwestern. Northwestern had 166 yards just in special teams returns yardage. And then what happens, a Saturday against Eastern Kentucky, a muff punt, you're able to block it, get in the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah, it was big. It really got our special teams going. They got some excitement. We came after them with some pressure. Dwayne Thompson made one heck of a play. He got a great jump on the rush, and maybe that caused a little bit too. When you got guys screaming down the barrel right at you, it's hard to keep that focus on that ball. He put the ball down, and Dwayne blocked it, and Hunter picked it up. But I thought as a whole, special teams was improved, but we got to continue to keep going, and keep improving.
I know an area too. I don't just want to signal out both of these guys because I know Hunter Lunsford, of course, awarded with the Valley Award this week, Special Teams Player of the Week, and then of course Faison as well. I know you wanted to see two guys specifically that are twin brothers, Michael and Matthew Griffin. They had an opportunity, and man, it was Matthew there with a big tackle. I know on a punt return. I think it may have been the first one of the game.
Yeah, both those guys got great speed, got great size, and gave them an opportunity. And going to continue to work them into special teams. But I thought they did some good things. It was the first time really that they've gotten a chance to play, a significant amount, and their role is going to just continue to increase.
Tonight we're going to spotlight the defensive line. Anoke Mawala Noakes, who has been here longer than you.
Yep.
Which I know you love to point out to Anoke every time you see him. Gavin has been 18 captain. He's been an all-Pioneer Football League performer.
Right.
Somebody I know, when you got him, you immediately texted him. He talked to me. He said, I'm so excited that we got this guy to be a part of our program. How do those two guys really embody not just what you want your defensive line to perform and really your defense in general, but just your team and how they embody everything about your program?
Well, they hold guys accountable. They're not afraid to speak up and lead from the front. Noke has always been a leader. When Jonas left, I just seen him grow in that role of being more vocal and being more comfortable, and you see that. He's a leader not only of the defense but a leader of the team. And Gavin's been just a natural fit. I mean, he since day one, he just fit right in with like-minded guys, and I know he would tell you the same thing. I mean, wish I had him for as long as I had Noakes. He's jumped right in. He's loves it here, and loves his teammates. Teammates loved him, but what a great fit. And he's done a great job with that D line. The interior guys. We do have some guys. Maybe some younger guys, but he's brought great leadership and great experience to that defensive line.
I know you guys have brought a lot of pride to Terre Haute, but probably nobody so far this year has brought more pride to Terre Haute than Noah Malone, who is here tonight, of course, winning 3 medals in the Paralympic Games in Tokyo. For you, I know you were watching him closely and seeing how he performed. We're going to talk to Noah here in a little bit with Coach Bertoli tonight. But I know it probably means a lot for you to have Noah here, be able to share his journey, but also being able to watch him perform and what he's been able to do just in 1 year here at Indiana State.
Yeah, it was awful. It was awesome to watch. Where my wife and I and the kids were watching and keeping track, and I know you kept me up. I'd text you and want to know how. But just awfully proud of him and how he represents the track program in Indiana State in a first-class manner.
You've never come close to winning a gold medal, have you?
No, not even close.
At any level, right?
Yeah.
Even back to your prime days when you were at Michigan, a young buck and a great athlete.
Nope.
I don't think you ever came close.
Nope, not a chance.
Nothing at all. Well, I'm sure Noah, we're excited to talk to Noah and Coach Bertoli here later on. But when we come back, we're going to take a break, and we're going to be joined by Anoke Moala and Gavin Dineen of the Indiana State defensive line. This is the Indiana State Coaches Show, live from the corner of Food and Fun at 7th and Elm Bar and Grill on 105.5 The Legend. Welcome back to the Indiana State Coaches Show, live from the corner of Food and Fun. Great to have you with us, everybody, here tonight as we have a jam-packed show. Big thank you to head coach Curt Mallory joining us in segment number 1. Now it's time for the guys who are truly the star of the football portion of the show. That's none other than Anoke Moala, who's done this a handful of times, and Gavin Dineen, transfer in from Drake. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking time to come out tonight. You guys didn't get stopped by the train, by the way. You were here about on time. So
Exactly.
I think the head coach could probably take some notes from you guys, right?
Early's on time, you know.
Early is on time. There's no question. And I'm not surprised because normally most of the guys who come here for the show, they're here on time. But it doesn't surprise me at all that Mark Smith's crew is here by like 5:30. So 30 minutes before they even get rocking and rolling. Man, guys, what a game on Saturday for you. I know from a defensive perspective, you probably wish you could have shut the door there where the offense didn't need the drive there with 49 seconds to go. But just initially, Noakes, for you, what was that moment like, just watching it unfold on the sideline when the ball is in the air going towards Faison in the end zone?
I had belief in them all along. 2 seconds left. I mean, we practice it every day, like Coach Mallory says. We practice 2-minute every day, and in those situations, and we had Curt in there, and he's looking comfortable the whole half. So I had belief in them, and I was excited to see that and see them execute that way. They kind of picked us up after we kind of failed to close the game out.
For you, Gavin, what was it like watching the ball go through the air there towards the end of the game?
Yeah, that was definitely a roller coaster of emotions, and you kind of alluded to it. Wish we could have shut the doors. Kind of left a bad taste in our mouth for sure. But it kind of speaks to what Coach Mallory preaches all the time, is sticking together. So as Noakes says, when the ball's in the air and you see Faison go for it, kind of just had that belief he was going to come down with it, because it feels like, every time we're slipping, they pick us up. Every time they're slipping, we can pick them up. So, yeah, definitely was excited. And then when they started reviewing it, I'm like, oh, no. And then I was excited again. So definitely a roller coaster of emotions for sure.
How long did that review feel like? Because for us up in the booth, it felt like it took like 2 hours just to review that thing.
Yeah, it felt even longer. I think I was hugging Kyle for about, it felt like 5 hours. We had a little bit of a moment there. But definitely, it felt good to celebrate afterwards for sure.
Oh, no question. Again, Indiana State knocking off Eastern Kentucky 23-21. Gavin, kind of alluding to that, defensively, you guys, it felt like held Eastern Kentucky in check for the majority of the game. What was it about that final drive that left a bad taste in your guys' mouth? What's something when you went back and you watched it on film yesterday, you're like, man, if we just could have done this better, it wouldn't have gotten to that point where we needed that late second touchdown?
Yeah, I think that's the frustrating part, is there's just so many things you look back, like, oh, if this would have been different, make a few more tackles or do something pretty small, it would have been a different result, and wouldn't be any need for that. But I think any time, when your last play in the field is them scoring, it's not going to feel good, whether it's, a game that's not even close or a game that was that close. So, I think just looking back at the film and seeing what could have been done differently was definitely frustrating for sure. So.
Anoke, for you, I didn't bring it up with Coach Mallory, but I know something he told me. I know he shared with you because you were really close with this individual. You got more team captain votes than a guy by the name of Jonas Griffith did. I know Jonas is probably going to listen to this and watch this. We can rub that into him a little bit. But for you, what did you learn from Jonas, somebody you've roomed with, somebody you lived with when he was here, of course, now in the NFL, continuing to live out his dream? What did you take away from him that you try to bring along and pass along to the rest of the guys that are here currently?
I would say just bringing others along with you, not really taking that as like power and try to take control of that, or like, oh, I deserve this or that. I would say you're given this position just to bring others along you and make this entire team a lot better, trying to help others, bring them along with you, and not taking it as in, oh, I have power, I have more power, I can do this or that, whatever I want. No, it's more so bringing others along as well.
When you think of your leadership aspect here, when you knew that you were voted a team captain, what did that mean to you?
It meant a lot. I was emotional. I didn't expect it to be like that, and because I'm not much of a speaker or anything like Coach Mallory says. But another thing Jonas told me was you sometimes don't want that role, but it's you're gonna have to accept it, and it's gonna make you grow as a person and as a leader, and it'll help you out there in the real world as well. As well as if you want to continue playing afterwards as well.
Gavin, I know it was a question I asked you during fall camp, but for those that don't know, of course, I brought up your background, transferring in from Drake. You were a team captain there. You were an all-league player there. Why the move here? What was it about Indiana State and specifically this team and this program that you still wanted to come and play because you're a guy that's had so much success at this level?
Yeah, I think how everything just ended so abruptly. I had so many plans of what my fifth year was going to look like, and then, everything going down. I just felt like I'd be doing myself a disservice by not seeing out that final year. And I kind of had a flashback to 4 years ago, and, in the recruiting process, people say a lot of things, and you think, this guy's going to give me everything he's saying. But then you realize it's a lot of lip service. But Coach Mallory, Coach Smith, I found whatever they said was coming true, and they weren't just saying things that were never going to come to fruition. So I just think how honest they were with me. It gave me a very clear picture of what it's going to look like, and that's exactly what's happened. So, and then getting around the guys, it was like Coach Mallory said, it was just kind of a seamless transition. It's different people, but it's kind of like, hey, I kind of met this guy before. So I think that's been really fun, and just kind of restarting. At first, I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but I think it's been a nice challenge, just kind of mentally just kind of restart, and it's been great so far.
What have you enjoyed just about your teammates? Getting to know a guy like Noakes coming in, where a lot of the guys in your position group have played here, are experienced in playing here, but your experience too. Just how has that mesh been like, and what's the biggest enjoyment you get outside of maybe some comedic TikToks or Snapchats that you may send the guys from time to time?
I would like to keep it light sometimes. No, it's been good, not only, getting here and learning, new playbook and everything, but kind of seeing as I'm growing, there's guys I've only known for 9 months, but kind of seeing them grow as well. And we kind of alluded with Anoke, he wasn't as big of a talker. He's just does everything the right way, but I've actually seen him grow even more as a leader, which I didn't know that was possible in January when I got here, because he's kind of just the guy for everything. But seeing how diligent he is and how he works, and then seeing kind of how that kind of spreads throughout the team, and that's been pretty awesome to kind of see how we've all grown. Getting the spring season canceled, a lot of things have been thrown at us, and there's just been a lot of growth, from everyone. So.
Noakes, I know, by the way, Anoke Moala, Gavin Deneen join us here at the corner of Food and Fun, the Indiana State Coaches Show. If you're out driving around in Terre Haute, want a place to stop and eat and enjoy some Sycamore athletics conversation, come join us. We'll be here till 7 o'clock. Noakes, Gavin is sounding very professional, easygoing, and he is. He's all of those things, but how funny is this guy? I think it's one thing. He's not really alluding to his sense of humor, but I don't know if there's really anybody that has a better sense of humor and comedic value than Gavin Deneen.
He's a funny guy, man. He's very sarcastic. Don't let this fool you up here. But, yeah, he's always lightening the mood, always getting along very well with all of us. He fit right in as soon as he got here, and he was able to even push those guys on the interior as well, as Coach Mallory said, to another level, and be able to lead these guys as well, the ones that have been here a couple of years too. He just fit right in and was able to help us better this team.
I know you guys are so busy in terms of your day-to-day life, and actually I'll hold this question off for one moment just because I know Coach Smith is here, so you guys can wow him a little bit with your answers. But, Coach Smith, so experienced, been around this game a long time. For each of you, we'll start with you, Gavin. What's the biggest thing you've taken away from a guy like Coach Smith and what you've enjoyed learning underneath him here at Indiana State?
Yeah, I think that kind of alludes back to what I said before. It's just very authentic, and kind of what you see is what you get, very fair. And obviously he's been doing this a long time, so he's someone I trust. We're early to everything. Everything's very important to him. You can see how much it matters, and that's kind of something that kind of goes to the rest of the D line. You can see how much this matters to him, so why wouldn't this matter to me? There's some days you really don't want to do it, you're not feeling it, but when you see how much it means to him and how consistent and steady it is, it's hard not to want to play for that guy. So,
how about for you, Noakes?
He's very consistent, content. He has all these acronyms that we can go over all day. But the things that he teaches us are just daily life values, that every elite individual would want, We had Coach Mallory's brother come in and talk to us, who was an NFL coach for a certain amount of years, and he was giving us tips and all of these like notes that we had to jot down, and it was the exact same things Coach Smith has been telling us since I've been here with him, ever since the whole new coaching staff came in. So I really didn't have to write anything down because it was all in my notes already. But yeah, I love Coach Smith, and he's very upfront and real, like Gavin said, and he won't stray away from that, and he'll be upfront with you and continue to make you a better person and an individual as well.
You know, back to the question I was alluding to and leading into as we transition, because we got Noah Malone coming up next here on the show. You guys are so busy within your schedules. I know you get, when you're here in August, you get in the fall camp. It's football, football, football. I know it's kind of football-centric, but you guys also pay attention to what else is going on in Sycamore Athletics. I know you guys were able to watch Noah, cheer him on, and what he was able to do in the Paralympic Games. For each of you, what was that like, and what it means to you as a former Sycamore athlete when you guys get that support like you did? I know I was getting texts from all the other teams saying, man, we were watching, what a win against Eastern Kentucky. And you guys do the same thing in turn for Noah and many other athletes here when they have success in whatever sport that is.
It kind of just makes us proud, you know, because we all, Indiana State, you know, it's tough out here in Terre Haute. And whenever something good happens, we're all supportive. And even if you know what I mean, you have social media, and even if you're not watching, they share it, and you're able to see that, and you're like, wow, like, that's kind of good. You put us on the map. We're proud, you know. I mean, I'm glad we went first, because Noah went first. You know, it's a tough act to follow right there.
Well, you'll just give that to Coach Smith. That'll be his duty, so they have to follow those two guys. Yeah, I know you come from Drake. Of course, Drake, I know, has a lot of great history with the Drake Relay, so you've seen a lot of really good athletes, and I'm sure watching Noah was even more special for you because you came from a place that really did, of course, put a lot of emphasis on the track program.
Yeah, for sure. I think that was really exciting because, you know, that's before we were playing, so it was kind of, you know, I'm a Sycamore now, so it's kind of something that's fun to root for. So, yeah, definitely a sense of pride, you know, around Terre Haute and on campus. It's definitely a feat, and like Noak says, I'm glad we're going now and not after him for sure. So,
Man.
There you go. You can say thank you to Noah on his way up when we close out this segment. Guys, it was so much fun to win that game in that way, in that fashion, but now you get the opportunity to host a nationally ranked team, the number 2 team in the country, South Dakota State, coming in here on Saturday. Just each of you again. Gavin, we'll start with you. What's the biggest thing you guys got to do to earn what would be an even bigger win here on Saturday at home against a really good opponent?
Yeah, I would just say be us. You know, we've been preparing for a really long time, especially not having that spring season. So, you know, do what we're taught. You know, listen to our coaches, and you know, we're all great players, and you know, it's just a great opportunity. I mean, why wouldn't you want to play a great team and showcase, you know, what we can do for sure? So it's just a great opportunity
for you, Noakes.
It would just be prove the right people right. Where a lot of people are focused on proving the wrong people right, you know, or the right people wrong, you know. But we just want to prove the right people right, the people within ourselves, you know, our teammates, our coaches. We just want to continue to better ourselves and just continue to prove the right people right is what I would say.
Gavin, we look forward to showcasing your sense of humor on some more video features as we go throughout the year. It's been great to have you. Noakes, of course, watching you grow every year since I've been here. It's been such a joy. Guys, thanks so much for coming on the show tonight. Appreciate it. Once again, that was Anoke Moala and Gavin Deneen. When we come back, it's time to catch up with a gold medalist. Noah Malone and Anthony Bertoli are our guests. This is the Indiana State Coaches Show from 7th and Elm Bar and Grill on 105.5 The Legend. Oh, we have a special treat for you here tonight. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Indiana State Coaches Show, live from 7th and Elm Bar and Grill, as Indiana State will be gearing up for South Dakota State this weekend, which we'll talk about that game later on. It's time to talk about some medals won in the Paralympic Games, as Indiana State track and field star Noah Malone just wrapped up his freshman year and come back a gold medalist, won 2 silver medals as well. If I can get that out. I can't even talk. You won so many medals, Noah. You give him a round of applause. Come on, he deserves it. There you go. Noah, congratulations, man. I know that was a heck of an accomplishment, a great run in Tokyo. What's the love been like for you since you've been able to get back home here over the last month?
Yeah, I can't even quantify how much love and support everybody on campus, everybody on social media has been giving. It's, you know, I greatly appreciate it for sure. So it's been amazing.
Coach Bertoli, for you, for somebody that recruited Noah here, what has this process just been like for you to be able to watch him, to be able to see him perform? I know he's a guy you had a lot of faith in because that's why you noticed him. But just as a coach and somebody to see him, train him every day for those moments, and see him perform on the biggest stage. What is that like, just as a coach?
Well, we kind of got a little bonus here with the games getting pushed back because of COVID. When I did his home visit recruiting, we were talking about Paris his senior year, and so with everything getting pushed back, we got to go for a little ride to Tokyo, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a big learning experience for myself. This has been my first step into the Paris sport and that whole world. But it's been a lot of fun learning along the way with him. So.
No, I know your journey has been well documented. I don't want to ask you a lot of questions that you've already been asked multiple times, but for those that are here and maybe don't know necessarily your story, it was about when you were 13 is when you lost your vision. You were 20/20 vision at that time. Now, of course, that's not the case. Kind of take us through just a little bit briefly of when you started to lose your vision, and also what really this journey's been like to all of a sudden being a Paralympian and being able to win the 3 gold medals, or the 3 medals that you were able to do, 1 gold.
Right. So like you said, I had 20/20 up until 8th grade, so I was about 13 at that time. And ironically, I found, I kind of noticed it was starting to get bad at a track meet. I was, looking up at a scoreboard, and it was, a little blurry. But it was in Jacksonville, so I thought it was, a heat wave or something. So then the first day of school was probably about 2 or 3 weeks later. And then, I just couldn't see the writing on the board, what the teacher was writing. And then I texted my mom. I'm like, I can't really, see something. We might need to go to the eye doctor and get glasses. So at that point, I wasn't really thinking it was serious. I just thought, we just need an eye exam so we can get some glasses. And then, we did that, but we found out it was more serious than that. And then I was diagnosed with a condition called Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy. And it pretty much just strips most of my central vision away and leaves me with most of my peripheral vision on the outside. That was 6 years ago in 2015. And then I was introduced to parasport about 2018. So, a little while after that. So I had no idea that even existed for 3 years. And then I was on the national team. Summer of 2018, that's where pretty much everything started.
When you were told that that's what you had, what was your first initial reaction, and how did you kind of comprehend it to get you to a point where you still wanted to pursue, obviously, those options? You mentioned you didn't know it necessarily at the time, but what was just kind of your initial gut reaction when that was read to you?
Being 13 and hearing that type of life-changing news, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what the condition was. My parents didn't know what it was. We didn't know if it was going to get worse or stay the same or even better. We didn't know anything. We didn't know if I could still do school or track. So I kind of just took it how it came. I still want to do track. I still wanted to become state champion in high school that next year or in high school. It was kind of hard. I really did not know how to take it. I didn't beat myself up over it. I kind of had to just accept it. But
and you mentioned it's hereditary, right? Your
uncle
had it, and he didn't even know till you went to the doctor.
Yeah, so my uncle, I knew he had a vision thing, but I didn't know it was hereditary and that I was gonna have it. So he found out a whole lot more about his condition because I had mine, and there's more information out now than 40 years ago. So it was a whole process that year for sure.
What is it about track that drew you to the sport, and why you fell in love with it, and what it is about it that still to this day is something you want to pursue and be a leader for so many people out there?
I think what drew me to track probably 9 years ago was I'm such a competitive person in general, and track and field is such a great platform to show that. It's a great way to meet people, to be social, just to burn energy. So all those things, and also it just sharpens my skills. Like you said, I've become a leader. My work ethic skills have improved. So all those qualities track brings out of me. So, and I love it too. So that helps a lot.
Coach Bertoli, when Noah came on your radar, when did he come on your radar, and how he came on your radar, and you learned about him, and what you initially remember of what stood out about him when you first were getting in touch with him?
So he really jumped out at us at his junior year at state. He won the 200 meters and was runner-up in the 100. And I said, okay, he's somebody who can step in and make a difference for us right away at the conference level and maybe even at the national level. And regardless of any visual impairment or anything. And so, but we kind of saw, I don't know, it was going to be, he was going to be able to help us, and we were going to be able to help him. We were going to be able to give him, the facilities that he needed and support his journey in parasport. And so, yeah. And once I did my visit with him, and he's a pretty good guy. I like him all right.
Average.
And but no, I think we just connected, and once he came on campus and saw everything that Indiana State has to offer, it's.
Yeah, I say that in jokingly, but so much of this recruiting process is the person that you're recruiting. And I know it's the same for when you're looking at a coach, when you're looking at a program, it's about the people, it's about the individuals, it's about those who you're entrusting to take you in. What was it about Indiana State for you that drew you in? And that I really like Coach Bertoli, I really like Coach Angie Martin and Jeff Martin and really this staff, and why you wanted to come here.
Yeah, I think you said it yourself. Like, the staff was definitely the key. The key reason why I came here. I'll say it like this. So, like, all the other coaches I met with did not even have para in the plans. So, like, Coach Bertoli did the house visit. He had, obviously, we got the academic stuff out the way. But then, well, I shouldn't say it like that. But,
that's okay.
And then, then, like, we had a whole training plan for, at that point, it was Paris. But then in between, we have, like, world championship stuff. And we actually had that in mind. So that was like, okay, well, this college and these coaching staff, they it's not just conference and then, okay, that's it. It's like they had an extended season planned out, and that's what drew me in. It was simply that.
To win a gold medal, to win just a medal, let alone a gold, what was that moment like for you?
Oh, that was well, each medal did mean something different. So the 100 was the first race, and it was great just to be out there and just experience the atmosphere. Even with no fans, it was still like just a buzz there. It was a huge stadium, so I've never even competed at a stadium close to that size. So the 100 was the first race, got silver, and it was a cool experience. I made podium in my first race. But then the 400, so I don't run that often. I run the 100 and 200 here, and then the 4x1 relay. So I really haven't even touched the 400 up until, I guess it would be trials of this year. So I was nervous. I'm not even going to lie to you. I was nervous because I didn't know what to expect. My competition was, they came in with 47s, and I came in with like a 49 from trials. So it was all over the place. I just ran it, and it went well. But that was probably the best moment of Tokyo was the 400 final. I PR'd by a lot, and I got silver again. I really can't even put it in words. That really made the trip worth it, and all the extra training, all the extra reps, that what made it worth it. And then the relay too, the universal relay with 3 other people. We broke the world record and got gold in that, so that was amazing too. So every race was something special for different reasons. The trip was amazing all around.
I went back and I watched your interview today as I was preparing to have you on the show tonight, and it was after, I believe, your very last race, and you made your comment of, I want to be somebody that somebody else can look up to because I never had that as I was going through this. I did, yeah. Why is that important for you, and what do you want to show and prove to so many others that may be in your shoes elsewhere, just haven't had the platform that you've been very fortunate enough to be able to earn, by the way, but also have?
Yeah, I think it was important because like we were talking about earlier, being 13, I didn't really look to somebody to get out of that, like, painful time, I guess. So I just kind of with time, it just got better. But if I did have, anything to just look up to, or I don't know how to, basically just look up to, it probably would have been a lot better. So now that I am where I am, I guess, I kind of have the opportunity to just inspire other people who are going through that. Like, so far, I've had many people just say, oh, I'm so inspired, and, my daughter is blind, and she's read your book, and she's, so inspired. So that alone really makes it worth it. So, just inspiring people.
Coach Bertoli, will get you both out of here on this because I know you guys appreciate you definitely fitting us into your busy schedule, Noah, and you too, Coach Bertoli. But what has Noah's story meant to the current team and to his current teammates that he has and those he's able to affect? And just in the short time that you had, I know right now it's cross-country season. You'll get into indoor season and outdoor season to come. But what's his story meant to his teammates here and how that's really – and not just his teammates, but to the program. So – you're a proud Sycamore and have been here and coached at other teams too. What has this guy really meant to his teammates in this program?
I think, well, first and foremost, he's just one of the guys. He really is. I mean, when you see him around his teammates, like you've had no idea. He's, like you said, he's kind of hyper competitive, and they're arguing about anything that you can think of, and but he's kind of been. He's kept the energy going over the summer for us, and actually his 100-meter prelim was on the first day of same day as the first cross-country meet of the year. So it just shows you how long his training his season's been, and we're going to turn around and do it this next year, hopefully with Worlds. But everybody's rallied around him, and I don't know. It's been a great experience. He's had a lot of support from the team, and I don't know, it's been fun.
Noah, what's the biggest thing next on your checklist? What do you want to do? What's kind of next in terms of the things you want to accomplish? And which, by the way, no Sycamore athlete ever won a medal. You were able to get 3 of them in the Paralympics this year. Had to make that note. What's next for you? What's the next thing you want to work towards?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of accomplishing things, I just got to get caught up on homework. So I got to accomplish homework. And then, I'm just getting caught up in class, just focusing on school right now. I'm not even training at all. So once the ISU season comes around, I do want to medal in conference. I didn't even medal in conference last year in the 1 or 2. I was 4th, so one spot off. But I just want to medal in conference and help the team, hopefully get a team title. So that's really it. And more long term, just Worlds like we were talking about in Kobe, Japan. It's back in Japan again. In August of next year. So Worlds, then ISU, that's really it. So
Noah, really appreciate you stopping out tonight. Coach Bertoli, you too. I know I can speak for everybody here and those who are listening and have supported you. I know you've been able to feel it. Extremely proud of you and everything you've been able to do to represent Indiana State in a first-class fashion. The best thing is you're just getting started, right?
Yeah.
Noah, congratulations,
Thank
man.
you so
Thanks
much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach
Thanks for having
Bertoli. That was Noah Malone, Paralympian gold medalist, and Coach Bertoli. Join us on the show. When we come back, it's time for Mark Smith here on the Indiana State Coaches Show, live from 7th and Elm Bar and Grill. Welcome back to 7th and Elm Bar and Grill. Big thank you to Noah Malone and Anthony Bertoli stopping by to share a marvelous journey for Noah in Tokyo just about a month ago now. Mark Smith, head coach, or I should say the assistant head coach and head coach of the defensive line of Indiana State football, is now our guest. I don't have mayonnaise for you this year, buddy. I know that's probably why that's probably the only reason why you came out here tonight was to see if I gave you some more mayonnaise.
Well, you're right. That's the only reason I did come out.
And I'm not surprised by that either. But, Coach, getting to the win over the weekend against Eastern Kentucky, I know it was a thrilling win. I'm sure a lot like Noakes and Gavin said, from a defensive coach perspective, great to get that win. But I know you guys probably wish just a little bit more that game ended where it was you guys making that game-winning play there at the end.
Well, you want that to happen, but obviously that's what a team is. A team picks each other up, and if there's one thing this team has been over the 21 months of COVID and even the first part of this season so far has been very resilient, and they care about each other, and it was nice to see that they got rewarded for playing hard and staying together.
How much of it is, Coach Smith, too, when you think about so many people may point and say, well, the offense has got to do it this week, or the defense has got to do it this week, or a big play in special teams. How much is it really? It's about complementing each other as much as you can each and every week. And when one side of the ball maybe needs some help, like you needed on Saturday, offense needed to step up in that role and make a game-winning touchdown with 24 seconds left. And there may be a week where that's reversed, and it's your turn on the defensive side. How much really is it just getting down to you got to complement each other? You got to play complementary football.
Well, there's no doubt about that. And I can even bring up an example in that game on Saturday. You know, we came out in the second half, and we had to start on defense and went 3 and out. And we didn't go back on the field in that quarter until there was less than 5 minutes left in the quarter. And you talk about a great rest for our guys and the ability to sit and watch. And we've always said we play our best defense sitting on the bench. And the offense did an awesome job of controlling that clock the whole third quarter, and that pays off in the fourth quarter because you got guys that haven't had to been out there for a lot of plays, and they're fresh, and they've got a lot of juice left. So you're exactly right. I mean, the offense did a great job of allowing us to get rested up enough to even be effective in the fourth quarter.
What's been the biggest addition a guy like Gavin Dineen has had to your room? And, Coach Mallory talked about earlier, he's a guy, of course, was a team captain, was a big role at Drake, comes over and feels like he's just done the same thing here for your defensive line group.
Well, and you're exactly right. When we try to do our homework well enough, when we look at it, doesn't matter whether it's a high school young man or a transfer, we want guys that fit the culture that's here. And, this wasn't just a phone call and watch him play on film and talk to him. We talked to a lot of people that had been around Gavin, whether it be his high school coaches to his college coaches to as many people as we could. And obviously we hit a home run with that type of a young man that fits right into the culture that we're looking for here.
When you met Anoke Moala the very first time, what was your impression? And now when you look at him today and you go back to that first impression of Noakes, what are the biggest changes, the biggest differences?
Well, the biggest change was I think he looked at me like I had 6 heads when I told him, hey, you're going to put your hand on the ground. And he said, no, I stand up on 2 feet. I said, no, you put your hand on the ground. And he still begs me every now and then and flipped out there and got to stand up a little bit the other night. But, no, but you've seen Noakes just grow as a person. He's a very talented young man and, a great family background, meeting his mom and dad like I've had an opportunity to. And you just see a young man that went from being a kid to a man. And we're so happy to have him not only as a player but as a person. And it's obviously it is noticed by his teammates being voted captain. And as he knows, captain's not an honor or a privilege. Captain's a job and it's a responsibility. And he's embracing that very well.
Coach Smith, one of the things I really love about you is your honesty and how blunt you are. And you told me heading into the year, you're like, Luke, if we're not any good, that's a problem. This is a defensive line, specifically talking about your group. We should be good. That is the expectation. So now you've had some games to see where you're at. 3 games so far, 2-1 record as a team. But what are the biggest observations you've had just of your group up front in terms of what you guys demand and what you've seen so far through 3 games?
Well, so far so good. I still think we have a lot more. I think that as this season progresses, we're just going to keep getting better and better and better. And like I said, we as much experience as we have up front, we hadn't played for 21 months against an opponent. And as easy or simple as that sounds, it does take a little bit to, if you want to say, get the rust off. It does. Yeah. But to this point, been pleased with what I see, what we see, and but there's a lot more out there. And I tell them that all the time, guys. You either get better or you get worse every day you go out there. And our goal and our mission and what we're going to do is get better every time we play.
One of the areas it seems like South Dakota State has really grown in, and the opponent you're going to see this weekend has been the size up front for them over the years. Coach Stiglmeyer has really made a point of emphasis to get bigger and stronger at the point of attack, at the line of scrimmage, not just offensively but defensively for them as well. When you see them on film, what stood out about an opponent in South Dakota State that has a lot of people buzzing about their program and about this team and how good they can be after being oh so close in the spring?
Well, we've taken the last 24 to 36 hours and done nothing but study these guys, and it's very hard to find a weakness. A lot of teams you can identify maybe this position or that position offensively, maybe it's not as strong. I think top to bottom and inside out that I don't know if they have a weakness. They know what they want to do. They do it very well. And they've got, you take a look at the offensive line alone, they've got guys that have over 25 starts under their belt. I mean, their center has started 38 or 39 games. And two more of the offensive linemen have played in 25 and 28 games started. So you're talking about a very experienced group. And like I said, they know what they want to do. They know how to do it, and they do it very well.
You guys obviously respect South Dakota State and respect everybody in this league because of how good this league is. But one of the things I always enjoy about a Coach Mallory football team is you guys step on the field each and every week, regardless of who you are playing. You believe that you're going to win that game. What do you guys have to do on Saturday, from your perspective, Coach Smith, to get that win, to earn that big win, and really probably, probably about it, be the biggest statement win that you guys have had since your time here?
Well, from the standpoint of playing up front, and I tell these guys the same thing every day, you want to evaluate yourself, or you want to decide how you're going to win a game. We always talk about 4 key ingredients. One is your get off, come off the ball, attack the man you're across from. Number 2 is your pad level. Obviously we're going to be oversized or undersized compared to most offensive linemen that we play. But one thing I learned a long time ago as a D-line coach, and that's why I love recruiting wrestlers as defensive linemen, that low man wins, and you play with leverage in those things. So the second key ingredient being your pad level, play lower than they are. Number 3 is how violent you play. And when I talk about violence, it's not pushing, shoving, kicking, biting, eye gouging. It's not that kind of stuff. It's the attitude that if it's me or you're going to lose. And that's what you got to have when you go against a quality person that you're going to line up from. And number 4 then is effort. You got to play hard. You got to play every play like it's your last play. And that's why we rotate a lot of guys. And this past week, we took 9 guys on the trip and 8 of them played. The week before we took 11 on the trip and all 11 played. So if you're going to expect that kind of effort, especially up front, you've got to give those guys a break. And fortunately for us, we're deep enough and talented enough to do that. That I tell these guys, hey, there isn't a starter. You're all starters. You're going to be a major contributor in this game at some point.
Coach Smith, appreciate the time hopping on the show. I know how much you enjoy all these media interviews, especially with me. So I appreciate you hopping on, and enjoy the rest of the week. And let's get ready for a big win on Saturday.
Well, thanks, Luke. And you're exactly right. I couldn't think of a better way to spend an evening than with you. So
I'm sure. I appreciate that, buddy. Thanks, Coach Smith. Once again, that was Mark Smith, defensive line coach. We'll be back to close it out with head coach Kurt Mallory. You're listening to Indiana State Coaches Show live from 7th and Elm on WVIG 105.5, The Legend. Again, big thank you to Noah Malone, Coach Anthony Bertoli, join us on the show. Coach Mark Smith, Anoke Moala, and Gavin Deneen join us. Coach, we'll just close out on this, and we're a little bit past 7 o'clock, so we'll get you on our way here. This weekend, South Dakota State, great opponent. I know Coach Stig is a man you really respect and regard very highly in the program that he has built. Just a great opportunity for your team on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking forward to it, to start a conference play. And, got the number 1 team in the country coming in here. So got a heck of a challenge, anxious to get started here in the conference play.
And I had you touch up on it in your press conference too, but what an awesome crowd we had against Eastern Illinois. 1 o'clock kick on Saturday. Love to see more fans out there on Saturday after what was just such a great opening Saturday night at Memorial Stadium back in August.
Well, it was awfully great to see what a great crowd we had when we played Eastern Illinois, and hopefully it continues, and I'm sure it will. We got great support here and at Indiana State and the community, and just looking for a great showing.
Well, I know one thing's for sure. Your team's going to be ready to play. Yep. I know it's going to be an exciting game on Saturday. Coach, thanks so much for the time.
Right. Thanks, Luke.
Once again, that was head coach Kurt Mallory. For everybody of the Indiana State Coaches Show, big thank you to Jim Osborne back in our studios at the DLC Media Center. I am Luke Martin saying so long from 7th and Elm. This has been the Indiana State Coaches Show on 105.5 The Legend.